Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. So, I have a heavier topic that I want to cover with all of us today for a couple of reasons. Many of you know that I am a native to Buffalo, and a lot of people in our AstroloLIFE community are also still in Buffalo or native to Buffalo as well. So, I wanted to cover a really important topic that is in the news and that I know a lot of people in our community are struggling with. So I thought it was important to step forward and give some of you tools to help other people through this, because in our community, that's what we do. We not only help others, we also are leaders. So I wanted to give you as much information as possible to work through this productively and be able to still be that strong pillar of light that many of us in the AstroloLIFE community really aspire to be. So first, I want to cover why I am doing this feed now and not in lieu of the news coming out. We all know how intense the energy in the atmosphere was going to be, especially over the past several days. We had a really heavy moon cycle come in. We had a really extreme eclipse come through. So trying to handle and work through things emotionally at times when the cosmic energy is going to be a mess was going to be that much more difficult. Now that we're on the other end of it, there's some important tools to really help all of you work through this and also become a leader. I want to first remind all of you, it's easy to get stuck in this addictive behavior of watching the news and staying stuck on the news and continuously going back and revisiting what's being shown to you on the television. So I want to caution a lot of you about that, because sometimes when there is a tragedy or an extreme situation, we tend to feed off of it. There's like an adrenaline rush, and that's really no different than an addiction. So I want all of you to become very aware of course, the news is going to capitalize as much as possible on anything that could potentially be upsetting or jarring to the public. And a lot of the information you're going to be seeing is going to be to get that rise out of you and not to help you heal and not to help you become a leader, because it's just not a really responsible source for information anymore. So I really encourage all of you to turn off the news during this process so that you can let your nervous system rebalance and you can allow yourself to heal and you can allow yourself to reset. That is really important. When you stay in the mode of a fight or flight response, you burn out a lot of really important systems of your body that are going to be necessary for you to be a leader. So your adrenaline system can really take a huge hit. Anyone who's experienced any kind of traumatic situations and gone through PTSD, you understand what kind of effect that can have on your immune system, on your emotional state, on your hormonal balance, so many things. So the longer you stay in this state of fear, in this state of despair, the more it's going to physically cause things within your body that are not going to benefit you in the long run. So I want to give you some tools on how to help rebalance that system and how to really center yourself, and also things that you can pass on to other people that are struggling. Last but not least, I want all of you to understand that in the moments of tragedy, in the moments where things happen that seem like they're senseless, when you identify with that lower vibration feeling. So I realize that some of you watching this may not really understand clearly the concept of the vibrational energy that you have. What I mean by that is, if you're in a room full of people that are feeling negative and sad, you can't help but also feel this heavy cloud or this heaviness on your chest, even if no one in that room is talking. That is the ether or the energy frequency around a room. So if when you're hearing some of this information, you are lending your energy to a lower vibration, a sad vibration, a feeling of despair, then you're actually feeding the wrong frequency to help a situation heal and to help yourself heal and grow. So I want you to become aware of just how powerful allowing some things to move through you and allowing yourself to become caught up in the narrative and not part of the healing process, how that can affect you and others, and whether or not you're going to be part of the solution here. Okay, so a couple really amazing things to help balance out your frequency and to help balance out your emotional state is one of my absolute favorite techniques. It is a breathing technique called 478. This breathing technique is taught to PTSD victims, it's taught to anyone who's experienced a traumatic experience in their life and is really struggling with rebalancing. It automatically takes your adrenaline system and your adrenals and it cuts off certain hormones from flowing to them readily and allows them to get a moment to rebalance or allows them to get a moment to move out of shock. How you do the 478 breathing, which is really amazing because exactly what it is titled is kind of how you do it, is you take a moment to take a deep breath and breathe into the count of 4, and then you hold to the count of 7 and breathe out to the count of 8. You can repeat this cycle as often as you like. I love, and those of you in the AstroloLIFE group, you understand, I like to close my eyes when I do breathing techniques because you're centering everything together. So if you feel drawn to close your eyes, you can also do this though when your eyes are open and it's immediately resetting your whole body. So it's similar to when you see someone like an animal in the wild that gets attacked. If you ever notice after they're done, they shake off and then they just move forward. That shake off is a release of energy. It's a reset for their entire internal programming to then move forward and then be at more peace. This breathing technique is like that reset. So I urge you, at least 5 cycles would be wonderful. So moving through this breath 5 separate times would be wonderful to really take that whole adrenal system and a lot of what's going on mentally and emotionally and just sort of put a cap in it and let you rebalance. Hey, sweetie, I know there is so much going on right now. But we've got this. We've got this, Ange. So I know you're a leader. I know that so many out there, all of you are leaders. So it's so important that you have these tools because it's going to be needed. You know, your children are sitting there and they're watching this on the news. The news is so irresponsible on its coverage and the things that it does emotionally without really understanding it. It really is trying to draw you in. So that's why we talked about be aware. Are you watching this because it's making you feel good or is it feeding the addiction to put you further into this terrible state? So how you reset from that 478 breathing, it's wonderful. It's going to reset your entire balance, mind, body, and spirit. So that is a really great way to reprogram your entire system from a physical level. I also want to give you tools on an emotional and spiritual level. So, some of you out there, again, you may not be familiar with the elements of energy. And one of the most important ones is ether. So, ether is something that's very new to our scientific understanding. It has to do with the frequency that moves in between two individuals or an electrical pattern that moves in between ourselves and anything around us. So, the space in between us is not empty space. So, using that ether to help people heal is something that's becoming a lot more prevalent in our society. It's one of the reasons why we're hearing so much about people doing meditation now and people really focusing on how they're feeling, focusing on the thoughts they have. That's playing with that etheric realm. So in our community, we talk a lot about that etheric realm. We talk about how we work with it, how we can flow with it, how we can get it to work for us. I want to share with all of you a really amazing way to help people that are struggling right now with that, with whatever they're experiencing, and using that etheric realm. So, one thing about being in that frequency or being in that space between yourself and someone else or yourself and a situation is the best way to connect is to have a stronger, higher emotion. So, different emotions carry different hertz frequencies. And I don't want to get too far into that, but the highest emotion, which travels the quickest, is love and peace. So, one thing before you start this and what we're going to talk about is you want to picture someone in your mind that brings you joy or brings you love. So, whether it is a family member, whether it is a partner, whether it is a child, whether it is a parent, whether it is a pet, whatever, take a moment and picture and bring yourself into that state of love. What we're going to do is then take that state of love, that etheric energy, that's within us, and we're going to project it onto the collective environment. So someone that we know that may be struggling from this tragedy, an area, you can use an entire geographic area to just send this frequency towards. But the most important part is the amount of love you're able to generate is going to then be the amount of love that you're able to share. So in working with the etheric realm, one of my most favorite techniques is actually one by Vishen Lakhiani. He does a 6-part meditation technique. The first of his 6 aspects in that meditation involves this particular method. And what you want to do is take a moment, like we talked about, to picture someone that you love, to picture someone that brings love towards you, or something that brings love towards you. And you want to take a moment to center yourself in there. Again, I always close my eyes whenever I'm in that etheric realm, whether it's with the breath or whether it's generally moving energy. So you want to take a moment to just center yourself, picturing that person or that animal or whatever brings you that love, and just allow that to really settle into your chest. And then as soon as you allow it to settle into your chest for just a few moments, and of course, when you're doing this on your own, you'll have more time to do it. But I want to move through the steps just so you have them and you have it available to you to utilize. You want to also, after you have that emotion very centered, you want to give it a color. So you may want to picture it orange, you may want to picture it red, you may want to picture it blue, whatever comes to mind is perfect. And just allow that color to slowly build as you take each breath. Allow it to build and expand in your energy field. And allow it to get wider and wider like a bubble, moving all the way through, the space that you're in. Expanding it through your home or your apartment or your office building, wherever you are. And letting that color just slowly and gradually grow. And you'll most likely reach a point where you're focused in this and that color becomes so strong and so heavy that it feels like it's almost going to burst. And that's the point where you can then take that color and you can extend it to an area. So if you picture the area of Buffalo and you allow that to expand, and you can even send little subliminal messages or subliminal thoughts. So as the energy is expanding, you can say, I wish all that are residing in this area are filled with love and they have the peace to heal. Whatever words you'd like to utilize. Remember, words are a frequency as well. So when you use them within the ether, they travel through and they have an impact on the external surrounding or the space. So you can continue to take that practice as far as you'd like. If there's a specific person you know that's struggling, you can send that directly to them. That is the best way to heal. Most will say that healing is done more towards a feeling than what someone will speak. And that's why when you can heal and someone can help you throughout your situation, 99.9% of the time, it's the way you feel in that person's presence and not the words they speak. And that's because of ether. So I wanted to take some time out. This is a longer live than I usually do, but I wanted to take some time out to really give you guys those tools on how to be part of the solution throughout this and how to really utilize these things so that you can make sure that you're healing and also be who you need to be for those around you that are working through this. So I want to send so much love to everyone in Buffalo. My heart goes out to all of you. I have been sending as much light as I can. And please share this video with anyone you believe who needs it. And keep up the good work because there's just such beautiful people there. And we are all here together working through this. Any of you have any questions, hit me up in the notes. I'm always here, always helping all of you guys in the AstroloLIFE community. You guys know that. We've got this. I love you guys to pieces, and I'll talk to you soon.